We continue in New Orleans, site of Super Bowl 59. Joining us now, Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon. Warren, great to see you again.
Great to see both of you guys. You guys do a great job on this thing.
Well, thanks you so much.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
You're one of my favorites. You know that.
You told me that a few times.
Yeah,
You're
I know.
still telling me, so I'm going to start believing you.
Well, I always want to just who throws a prettier ball than you? Tell me somebody that you know that you think threw a prettier ball than you.
I really don't.
Yeah. I like it. I don't know. It doesn't exist out there. Huh?
It's kind of like me knowing what Riz means.
Yeah, you don't know. I don't know. We're not cool anymore.
But you do now. You do now.
I do
so
now.
There we go. When you look back on your career and you had so many great moments, what stands out above all the rest?
You know, for me, Mike, just because of the journey that I had to go through to get to the NFL, when I finally got a chance to sign my first contract in the league after playing in Canada for 6 years, that always stands out as my defining moment, because that was a goal of mine as a high school player coming into high school, was maybe one day play in the NFL, and I didn't know if that dream was ever going to happen. I didn't know if it was ever going to turn into a reality. So when I signed that first contract with the Houston Oilers back in 1984, that was my heyday.
Right.
Yeah, I felt like I had arrived
and finally justified all the things you had done.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And the stigma on the black quarterback and some of that.
All the naysayers, everybody that told me I couldn't play the position, go somewhere else and play defensive back, go play wide receiver, all of those things, it made it all valid.
Right.
Is it rewarding to you that we're now at a point where quarterback race is never even discussed?
Right. And that's something that I'm really proud of, that I played a small part in that. You know, myself, Doug Williams, Randall Cunningham, during our era, I think we opened a lot of eyes to a lot of general managers, a lot of owners, a lot of coaches, that we could play this position at a very high level and be the face of a franchise. So when I see these guys, like you see Jalen Hurts going against Patrick Mahomes, two African Americans in the biggest game of football, it really makes you want to stick your chest out and be proud that you played a small part in that.
Yeah, you laid the foundation for it. And it really boggles the mind that in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that long ago.
No.
And we always hear we're making the best interest, best players, best 11 play, best guys play, but there was this weird barrier that took longer, far longer than it should, to come down, and you were a huge part of that. I think you were more pivotal than any other to change the thinking.
I agree.
Right?
Well said.
Yeah.
You were the guy, I feel like, that was like, look, he can throw it and make all the decisions and carve up a defense.
Yeah.
And then it kind of started to stop right there.
But I think Doug solidified it by winning the biggest game and being the MVP.
And
the Super Bowl is so big in people's minds that when you win that thing, that means you're one of the best.
Yeah. All right, I got a fun subject. We just talked about this with Brian Dawkins. I always like to hear the old quarterbacks. This drives me crazy. The quarterback protection rules right now.
Oh, my goodness.
What do you feel like?
We could talk for a while about that.
Okay, so go in. Tell me what annoys you about it and why it changes the game right now.
I'm going to tell you, I feel bad for the defensive player, to tell you the truth. The things that they're asking these guys to do in a full-speed, high-impact, high-contact game, to hit a quarterback coming at him full speed, and that's what you're asked to do, be at full speed all the time, and then you have to try and somehow jump off of him so you don't land on him. I mean, it's almost impossible to do, and a lot of these guys are able to do it, but some guys don't, and then they get penalized for it. So I understand why they want to protect the quarterback. He's an important part of this whole thing that we call football, but we're football players too.
Right.
And I got landed on a bunch, and I'm still here talking to you.
Yep.
I had concussions, all that different stuff. I like that they're protecting the quarterback more, but sometimes they take it just a little bit too far. I think every late hit should be reviewed.
I got you. Okay, so talk about, too, like, how much more comfortable would you be in the pocket with the rules the way they are right now?
Chris, it'd be scary.
Right.
It would be scary. Could you imagine Dan Marino or John Elway or Troy Aikman or myself having more time and being better protected?
Right.
The way the receivers are able to run through the secondary, they can't be touched anymore. I mean, Yeah, it's pitch and catch now.
It is.
Basically.
Yeah.
The only thing you have to worry about is all that speed coming off the edge, and that's why if you're a little more athletic today, and you see the more athletic quarterbacks have more success because they can make a guy miss, they can buy a little time, they can run the football every now and then.
Right.
Those are the more effective quarterbacks, the Josh Allens, the
Lamars,
the Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
That's why their teams are on top every year.
Yeah.
Can you still spin it?
I can still spin it.
How far?
I don't know about distance.
Accuracy, though. Accuracy still there?
And it still looks good.
That's the most important thing. Here's another thing, just because I'm a nerd. How did you grip the ball? You had both
this
fingers.
This is me right here.
Yeah, so you're what? You're 2 and 4.
Yeah.
And you keep 2 hands on the laces.
Yes.
Did you ever notice, and because we've had so many young quarterbacks, no young quarterback puts their pinky on the lace anymore.
I see that. Some
Are
guys
you
don't.
amazed?
Some guys throw it without the laces.
I know.
I don't
Baker
know how they do
Mayfield's
it.
the only quarterback in football that puts 2 fingers on the laces like you did, or I did, or my dad, or Troy Aikman, or anybody.
Some guys put the forefinger over the back of the ball.
Like up here, I don't know how they
on
do
the tip.
it.
Didn't Terry Bradshaw used to put it on the tip?
Yeah, he
way
used to
up
play it
here.
up there.
I think
He did.
Troy does too.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I didn't. But it's strange.
Everybody's got a different grip. Like when I try and teach quarterback to guys, it's kind of hard to tell them how to grip the ball because everybody's hand size is different. Whatever feels comfortable for you, that's what I try and tell guys.
Yeah.
Whatever feels comfortable, that's how you hold the football.
Right.
And I think it's as basic as how did they hold it the first time they ever picked one up and threw it?
Yep.
And they threw a spiral. I'm going to keep holding it that way, right?
For most it is. Do you never
Spiral
change yours?
is the key.
Did you ever change yours in your career?
I
Like my
changed-
dad and tinkered. I did a little every now and then.
I had a open dislocation of my thumb in 1990.
Right.
And I retired in 2000, right? So I played the last 10 years of my career. I can't bend this thumb. This thumb bends, this thumb does not bend. So I had to change the way I held the football the last 10 years of my career, and I never told anybody.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Because
unreal.
at that time I was like 35 when it happened, and you know at that age they started looking for replacements. When you have an injury, so I didn't say anything about anything.
Well, I remember when you landed in Minnesota in 1994, and I didn't notice any difference.
I didn't
ball
either.
was flying
It
through
was
the
still
air, and
flying.
it was beautiful, and yes, I remember those years well.
Yeah,
94, 95.
I had to change it. When I did this, it was the last game of the season in 1990. I had a chance to break the single season passing record the next week if I would have threw for like 300. And I was throwing for 300 every week. And I I had the dislocation of my thumb, so I was out. And then I missed the playoffs that year too. So it was devastating to me.
Wow.
I went back in the locker room and cried like a baby.
Hey, do you get mad at the Titans for throwing in the throwbacks like the old Houston Oilers?
I don't, because I think they own the rights to that uniform. Amy, who is the owner, Bud Adams' daughter, she grew up with the Oilers. I remember meeting her when she was a young girl, so that's all she knows, and she wasn't going to let that go. So she has the rights to the uniform, and she can use them when she wants.
Okay, all right, well said.
Warren, you're here today with Gear Up, raising awareness for cancer screenings.
Yeah.
Tell us more and where folks can find out how to get themselves ahead of the game.
Yes, through the NFL alumni, and we have a website, NFL gearup.org/cancer. So you go to that website, it'll give you all the information. But basically it's to inform people more about the importance of getting screening for cancers, all the different cancers that are out there. Like colorectal cancer is the leading cause of death in our country from cancer. And a lot of people don't know that. And it's a cancer you can walk around with because there's no symptoms to it unless you get screened. So we're just encouraging people to go out and get screened wherever in their community. And we got to do something about cancer because it affects so many different people's lives. My godmom just passed away from it about 3 months ago.
Right.
I have 2 buddies right now that are suffering with it. So we do a lot for cancer as far as research and things like that. And we have some things that will make your life a little bit longer, but we want to get rid of the cancer forever because it affects so many people's lives, and this is one way to do it.
Yeah, all right, cool. Check out Gear Up. Get out in front of
Colorectal
it.
is one of the few that you can stop it before it even starts.
Right.
And people freak out about getting a colonoscopy. It's no big deal. You're about due for one. You're creeping closer and closer, Bucko.
I don't like
deal.
when the doctor asks you about who you think's going to win while he's giving you the
That's amazing.
So who do you think's going to win?
Hey,
Who do you think's going to win? Without a tube, where a tube normally doesn't go, who do you think's going to win?
I think the Chiefs are going to find a way to do it, man.
Yeah.
On paper, I think Philadelphia is the better football team. If you look at their roster, unbelievable. Everywhere, wide receiver, running back, quarterback is really good. Offensive line, massive. Defensively, really physical. But the Chiefs, golly, they just
find
coaching, situational football, the quarterback, and the way he just finds a way to make things happen whatever it takes to win the game at that particular time. I've never seen anything like it.
That's what I was going to say. Have you ever seen anything like them, how they're doing this?
And not the way he does it, because we don't see quarterbacks move like he does in big games.
Yeah.
He makes these big runs. He goes out of a game with a sprained ankle and comes back in and runs 25 yards for the big first down. So, you just don't see that, and he does it time and time again. I just think he's going to do it one more time.
Yeah, I know. That's what scares me. I picked the Eagles, and I'm scared.
All right.
Close game, though.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer Warren Moon, great seeing you as
Thanks,
always.
Guys.
We'll be back
Thanks
with
for
more
having me
from New Orleans. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.